Good afternoon and welcome along to Destination Wellbeing. My guest this afternoon is the beautiful Robin McConville and her equally beautiful mum, Annie. And Robin is the first home birth baby that I've ever met. So today her mum has agreed with a lot of persuasion to come in and chat to me about home birthing and breastfeeding and generally all things pregnancy related. So you're very welcome to Destination Wellbeing, Annie and Robin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just a reminder, viewers, at the start of the show that whilst we'll be chatting about Annie and Robin's experiences, that obviously their health is, and how a woman would choose to birth her baby is an important conversation to have with her medical support team, and just to make sure that if you have any concerns around your own health and well-being, that you do contact your GP, and we've a wee disclaimer information up there at the beginning, so just to remind everybody that's watching in of that. But so yeah, wonderful experience, Annie, and I know we met sort of nearly towards the end of your pregnancy kind of thing, where, well,
Yeah.
it was about time flew, but it was probably after around about 6 months, was it? About 6 months mark?
Went to, yeah, positive birth group.
Positive birth group, yes. So, and the positive birth group is a group of women in the Newry and Mourne area who, and certainly North Louth as well. And we're hoping, I run the positive birth group, but in addition to that, the idea is that we support women. And a positive birth, what I love about the positive birth, Annie, is that it's a positive birth. It's whatever birth means to a woman. It's not necessarily, whilst Annie's here talking about home birth, it might be there may be someone else there who's having an elective cesarean. There can be anything, but it's to provide a supportive and informative environment for women who are birthing, isn't it? Really, that's the. And did you find that was your experience when you came to the group initially?
Yeah, it was actually. It was very first. It was very good first meeting that I'd went to. Yeah. There was a lot of actually support because I was talking at the home birth at the time, and there was one person there in particular, and they were very encouraging and supportive about the breastfeeding, and they were kind of in the medical profession, so it was very good to have that behind you as well. That
support there who were open to it. And obviously home birthing has been talked about a lot more recently, because I think just round about the time when Robin was ready to make her entry into the world, the report came out under the NICE guidelines that actually home birth for those who fit into normal healthy category in terms of their pregnancy are the safest place for them to birth is at home. Yeah.
That was very good as well, actually. That was quite encouraging.
Yes, it was a lovely, because I'm sure it's at some point on that journey. So the confidence wavers a little bit and you're thinking, oh, what am I doing the right thing here?
There was a few times during, I didn't know whether I was doing the right thing. I'd had 3 normal hospital deliveries before, and I kind of thought, am I pushing my luck having the baby at home? Am I putting both of us at risk? And just basically, am I pushing my luck with the 4th one? And is everything going to go okay? And didn't know whether I was kind of doing the right thing, but I really, really wanted to do it.
And then, as you said, the guidelines come out reassuring that you are doing the right thing, that this is a healthy, normal environment to birth your baby.
Yeah, it was.
And you say you really wanted to do it. Do you know why you really wanted to do it?
Yeah, it was actually my last, my now 2.5-year-old. During the pregnancy, I was told that the baby was going to be big, and there was possibility the baby's head was going to be big, and I was kind of a little bit worried about the delivery. Was there going to be complications? And then when I actually went into labour on her, I was at home, and I just felt so relaxed. I did I went through most of the labour at home. I went into the hospital at 2 in the morning, and I found out it was 7.5 centimetres. And as soon as I got into the hospital, everything just froze, and I just kind of completely and utterly freaked out. And all the negative thoughts and all the worries came rushing back in as soon as I got into the hospital environment, because I think it was kind of like, this is it. And whereas when I was at home, I was so relaxed. So I was kind of like...
But I think that's one of the things that can happen. That's very common for women. They go into hospital and everything slows down. So they've been progressing well at home, and then they go into hospital and everything slows down. And really what I believe is happening at that point, and not just me, there's obviously a lot of evidence to suggest that as well, when we look at the fight or flight instinct that we have, what the body's doing at that point is working out, is this a safe place for my baby to be born? Is my baby okay in this environment? And it just needs a little while for your body to adjust to that. So one of the ways that we can hopefully overcome that for any woman who is going into hospital to birth is that by having familiar sounds, familiar smells, even, you know, just allowing yourself, just reassuring yourself this is safe, this is okay, and letting your body know that yes, it is okay for your baby to come into that environment. Because a lot of us suffer with white coat syndrome. A lot of us are only in the hospital when we're sick. There are girls, friends of mine who are having babies now who've never spent a day in hospital. So their body has it's not a familiar environment in any way, shape or form. And what we really need at that time is the confidence and our brain and our body to have the security to know that the right hormones are going to be released, and they'll be released when you're relaxed and comfortable. So one option is to do what Annie done and decide then for the next time round to home birth in your environment, providing everything's okay with your pregnancy and your potential birth. And the other option then is to make sure that you've got your familiar signs, your familiar smells, and that you do some breathing exercises and you reassure yourself that it is okay. So there are ways, hopefully, of kind of overcoming those. But for you, who had went so well at home, had already had 2 births and 3 births, it was the next natural step. You felt confident enough to kind of go ahead.
I did. Well, I think
majority of the time.
The majority of the time, I did. I felt, well, if I could go that far, I think I could
do the rest.
And but I think I do firmly believe, and you need the support and encouragement behind you of the medical staff that are going to be there. You need to have 100% confidence in them and comfort, and just trying to, if you are lucky enough to know them, kind of build a bit of a relationship with them, or a friendship, or and then you kind
support. Because I mean, at the time when a woman's birth and she's at her most powerful and her most strong, but she's also at her most vulnerable. So it's a two-way. It's a two-way coin, isn't it?
It is. I think. When they are vulnerable, I think they're kind of impressionable as well. So I think if a midwife was to say something to you, and if you're feeling vulnerable, you will go with what they say, where you know really that's not what you wanted to do.
But you feel trust in your intuition really, and having, as you say, having the right support, and obviously the right. So there's the importance in terms of your midwife and maybe your consultant support. Obviously, if it's in the hospital, and it's also the support of family and your partner or your birth partner to be there and have their wonderful support as well. It's hopefully the person that knows you better than anybody else knows you at that point, and they've got your back, for want of a better word, and they're there supporting you. So it all so in preparation, I know obviously listening, even I've been part of some of the journey. So the things that would need to be done in terms of preparing for a home birth, obviously the first thing is to have the conversation with
your consultant. Or even when you actually go in for your booking, the midwife themselves, if they see that you've had a straightforward pregnancy before, I've heard they're actually supposed to say it to you.
Increasingly, I think more and more of them are suggesting it.
Now I hadn't, but I'm sure I know. The hospitals are that crazy these days. They're that busy, like, do you know what I mean?
Everybody's experience can be different as well.
But I knew beforehand what I wanted. So I was able to say it there and then. So it didn't really matter to me. So I'd actually had the conversation with the consultant at the time at my booking date, and he was 100% on top straight away.
Supportive.
Brilliant. He was he was amazing, and so he kind of got on to the community midwives and kind of started the ball rolling, really.
A conversation. And then there's a few bits and pieces sort of, so presume everything just progresses normally at that stage, that, you know, you still have your appointments and you do all that kind of stuff the same way as you would if you were birthing in the hospital, or is there a different procedure? Yes,
well, you get as far as your 20-week scan. You don't have any consultant visits. Obviously your booking date, and then your 20-week scan, the anomaly scan, and then from then on it's actually with the community midwives, either in the health centre or at home. For me it was more towards the end, that the midwives came to my house.
I suppose they want to familiarise themselves with your environment as well and check that everything's okay there and that they're happy with that. Yeah.
They actually have to do an assessment, make sure that everything is in place in the house. There's enough sockets for medical equipment that they have to bring with them, just to make sure that it's a safe environment.
Yeah, for them and for you and the baby and whoever else is about there for that. And then I know closer to the time then there's organising things like your gas and air and that kind of,
you need to, well, depending on whether you want to have a dry birth or water birth, it's good to get your the birthing pool organised. There's a lot of equipment. There is the community midwives will actually from your 38 weeks they usually deliver everything to the house.
So they start. Yay! We're talking about you and coming into the world. Yes, we are.
They bring the medical equipment.
Okay, so then do all of
gas and air.
Brilliant.
There is. Can I also just say there's a brilliant Facebook page, Northern Ireland Home Birth and Hopefuls.
Brilliant.
Very supportive.
Yes, I've seen that. Very supportive.
Very supportive.
And it's possible. There is a possibility of renting equipment and birthing pools and things like that, or you can purchase them.
You can buy them, you can rent them. There is, I think on one of the positive birth movements, as far as I know, they actually have where you can hire out the pools.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough, I knew somebody, so I borrowed the pool off them and then I got the equipment to go with it.
The liners.
And the pump and all the things that you need to have with it.
And a practice run.
A practice run,
yes. Always a good idea.
Yeah, it is. I think we had ours at 36 or 37 weeks. It was just really to see where the pool was going to fit in the living room. Obviously, you can't have the pool upstairs.
Yes.
It has to be downstairs.
Yeah.
So we were just making sure that
all was okay with that.
We were just making sure that we could fit it in the living room.
Brilliant.
I knew I wanted to have it. I wanted to have it in the living room, so I kind of had it in my mind that it was going to fit. So we just tried it, just inflated it, and just made sure that it was suitable for my size and for what I wanted. And then from I think at 38 weeks, we actually tried it with water. We filled it up to see how long it was going to take to fill it up. To make sure that it wasn't going to take very long, and then obviously the temperature as well, make sure that it's at the right temperature. It was great.
Yeah.
My husband, everybody in the house, my two older kids, the little one, it was great. They were all
the excitement of being part of all of that. And getting all the preparation done as well. And then you have the day out. In terms of pain relief, what are your options then? Water, obviously, is a huge one anyway for women, really, isn't it?
Yes, the birthing pool was just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
And was Robin born in the pool?
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant, so it was a full water birth.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible. They do bring the gas and air. There's pethidine on it. But they do recommend if you're having a home birth, you don't really need pethidine.
Yeah, because you're generally in a relaxed environment.
Yeah, and if you're having a water birth, you actually can't have pethidine.
Okay.
That wasn't an option for me. I didn't want to have it. Yeah. I was hoping not to use the gas and air, but it actually is very good. Yeah. And I do recommend it because it does kind of help you keep relaxed at the same time.
That's the key thing. It's keeping nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
And this little lady here's getting nice and relaxed as well.
Yes, she is.
She's all very settled and calm and content little baby. So
yes, she is.
I know obviously then one of your one of your angles was you obviously run, in addition to all of this busy stuff, you run the breastfeeding. You and a few girls have set up a breastfeeding group in Newry.
Yes,
as a social meet-up group, really, more than anything.
It is. It was more. It's quite isolating. It can be isolating breastfeeding, especially to me, it's a small town or city. Sorry.
Yeah, we're a city, but with small towns, maybe things going on.
And I think because I'm not from the area, I didn't know people, and I kind of wanted to be able to meet other mums who were or had breastfed, and just to get out of the house and meet other mums.
And there's fantastic support as well through Sure Start. I mean, there are breastfeeding groups, but one of the things that you find maybe is some of them happen at, you know, I think Sure Starts is on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're great for that early beginning stages, but you kind of wanted, it was more a social thing, wasn't it? It was more just
meet other mums.
Meet other mums, have a chat, have a coffee, normalise life, and kind of put things. So it's not about necessarily being fully focused on breastfeeding. You know, I gather the chat could range from everything and anything.
No, it's a peer-to-peer support group, but it's just like we just want to get out and just meet other mums and normalise breastfeeding. And we're actually planning, there's a couple of us planning on heading out to the Funhouse on Thursday.
So it's just a catch-up sort of a thing. It's just a way of meeting people that are possibly like-minded and may share an interest or maybe in the right space. Because often I think what you find now is that women maybe are off on maternity leave and things like that, and their friends aren't off. So it can be a wee bit isolating, and I think one of the important things would be to kind of make those connections quite soon after the birth, because that initial period afterwards can be emotionally challenging.
The first few weeks definitely. You need
breastfeeding or not. I mean, it's a challenging.
It is, after having a baby. Absolutely. And you kind of, it's great having other mums and other friends around you where you can kind of talk. But I know family's brilliant, but other mums, it's
just somebody who's gone through. But apart from anything else, people can empathise. But sometimes when we're feeling a wee bit low, it's like, well, sure, what would you know? You're not going through it. But when you've somebody there who you can't say that to, because they are going through it, it makes it that wee bit easier.
It does.
And you meet the breastfeeding. Neuroborn breastfeeding mums, is that what we're called?
That's what it is.
They meet, and it's Slieve Gullion, is it?
It's Slieve Gullion. It's in Grounded Espresso Bar in Slieve Gullion every second Saturday.
So what sort of time does that?
Well, it's actually from about 11.
Okay.
It was 10:30, but I think 10:30 might have been a little bit early. So 11 o'clock. We kind of all managed to.
Mind you, looking at how Slieve Gullion is at the moment, she might be lucky to get into it. I believe on Sunday with the new ferry park, it was just crazy busy. People parked right down onto almost like right down on the exit out and everything as well. The car park was full, so you might need to get yourselves there a bit earlier on a Saturday morning before the craziness hits, because I think once it officially opens in at Easter, it'll be pretty busy. So have you been up through it yet?
No, not yet.
The ferry doors are
amazing. Saw them.
It's really fantastic facility for the area, and a great opportunity to get out and get children into nature and really all of that sort of thing. Because I know, we're so cooped up a lot of the time, aren't we, as well?
Most of the year.
Most of the year. So to get out now into the springtime, and I think that's also maybe sometimes a challenge for women who have a baby in the winter months. Because you're afraid of nearly taking the child out in case they're going to pick up all sorts of things, and it's cold and it's wet and it's damp. So, and I know Robin was born in
December the 18th.
So you had,
I was that person.
Stuck in.
Afraid to go out, and you do need to get out. For your own head, to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. You need to be able to get out, and it's hard in the winter. Because they're so tiny, you're afraid of them catching things, and it's just freezing.
Cold and icy, and it's never pleasant. But now coming in with a brighter day as well. I'm saying brighter days, and we've had hail and snow and everything today, but at least it's bright. So that's a really good journey. And I know one of the things, and I don't know how it's going kind of this time around, but I know one of the things that we chatted about before were reusable nappies and stuff. And that is one that can also tick in some of those boxes too, isn't it? It's an interesting angle in terms of how I suppose how the whole birthing area is shifting and changing, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot more people using them. I started them on Lily. She's now 2.5. And it was a place that I used to work who sold them. And kind of I was like, I'm definitely going to use them the next time I have another one. And they're brilliant. They're economical. They're environmentally friendly. You only need about 20-25. I think if you 25 max in total for each one. I think it's a bit of a craze as well sometimes, I think, with certain nappies, but for me personally it's just the environment, really.
Yeah.
For the other half, it was more economical.
Yeah, but it's all of those benefits. But it's all these things you're kind of just making shifts in our heads sometimes, aren't they? And how we see things and view things.
Yeah,
and, But there's much more. And one of the things that I think is where we're different now than maybe where we were a few years ago is that there is a lot more social media support groups. So you can generally find people, whether it's the Northern Ireland Home Birthers and Hopefuls, or the Positive Birth Group Belfast, Positive Birth Group Newry and Mourne, Breastfeeding Mums Newry and Mourne, Sling Wearers, Cloth Nappy. But you'll generally out there find somebody who can offer a wee bit of support. And I was talking to one mum who went with the reusable nappy element, and she said I became addicted to buying nappies. The patterns were so lovely.
That's the thing.
The things she said I ended up I was addicted to buying them. But and the other thing is that sometimes we see these things as an all or nothing. It reminds me a wee bit of people wearing a deodorant. You know, like we kind of get into this thing that we have to do things all of the time exactly the same thing. Whilst I'm not advocating that we all go back smelling or anything like that, but there are days that it's warmer and days that it's colder, and therefore your needs will change. And you know, I presume nappies are that too. There's times when it's functional and it's okay to use the reusable ones, and there's other times you might need to use a disposable, and it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm only doing one or doing the other. People tend to do that, but it could mix quite easily.
Yeah, well, I think the good thing as well, there is more biodegradable nappies out there now as well, biodegradable disposable nappies.
Yes.
They're not completely biodegradable, but they're 75%. So, I mean, there's that option as well, like you can go down that line and,
there's lots of different...
There is. And going back to you saying about the Facebook pages, there is, I know people give out about social media, but it is, I think we'd be lost without it. I know I would have been, when I was first breastfeeding my 2.5-year-old when she was born, I would have been lost without it.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been able to continue. And the same thing with the cloth nappies and sling wearing, do you know what I mean? You need that support, and it's great having
again,
other
it's like-minded people, isn't it? And people, and I think one of the benefits, particularly that I find for anybody that's breastfeeding or anybody that's chatted to me about breastfeeding, is that when they, you know, if you've got a question, usually through your social media group, there might be somebody there, whatever time of the night it is, that can offer a bit of advice, because maybe they're sitting up breastfeeding too, and maybe all you need to know is that somebody else is doing this and I'm not the only person, and that can change how you're feeling, and once we change how we're feeling, then it changes all the outcomes. So
it is.
Well, it's fantastic, and I know we've been talking just before we went on air that hopefully we will be seeing more home births in the Newry and Mourne area, and it's lovely to hear of such a positive experience from it, because I know it was something that you went through very much as a journey for yourself. But would you recommend it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I suppose one of the areas that they're hoping to look at is how they can increase first-time mums, and obviously you had the confidence of 3 births beforehand that went okay. So that was your reassurance that yes, I can do this. But it's a leap of faith for anybody maybe first time round who hasn't.
It is a leap of faith. Yeah, and I think if they haven't done it before, I think it's brilliant, but personally I don't know if I would if it was my first.
Yeah, it's a leap of faith.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
it's
hopefully the more normal it becomes.
Yeah, but they used to do it years ago.
Yeah, that's it. We've transitioned. I have a feeling that we'll be looking back in a number of years saying, what, women went to hospitals to babies? Imagine how crazy was that, in the way we do now look at smoking or look at, you know, at any of those things. We kind of knowledge, and the more we learn really changes things, doesn't it? But that's to say, I mean, but we also need that really positive support from our community midwives, from the consultants. So there's a time and place for everything, really, and how it all fits in. Well, Annie and Robin, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And it's been lovely to have you on Destination Wellbeing, and for you to share your story, and hopefully to inspire any mums out there, and definitely through the Facebook groups, because I know Annie's active in quite a few different Facebook groups. So But there are other women there who have equally as much knowledge and experience and things. It's about having the conversations and opening up, really. So thank you for coming in to join me today, and I hope it's been a more relaxing experience than you maybe thought you initially. But, it's good to have you in, and we'll have you in again. Maybe bring along some of your some of the breastfeeding mums to join you to support you in these conversations. So to our viewers for watching in, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and I'll be back in with Rowan on Destination Uri on a Thursday morning, and back with Destination Wellbeing next Thursday afternoon.
Advertise your business here. Reach a weekly audience of 275,000 people. Be ahead of the rest. Call Damien on 078 08 80 34 75 or 028 308 34 012. So, you want local Newry and Mourne TV shows on your television? Which video box should you buy? Well, you have two options. Option 1 provides you as long as you have a good internet connection in your home, with all the programmes from destinationnewry.com, including
inside the fencing when we were up there. That's such a change. And the dog muck.
Destination Newry. Radio evolved.
Hello, your weather for today and tomorrow with Destination Newry. Today.
First, this is Newry News Bite.
Well, what's crack in Newry and Mourne today? We all had a great September weather-wise.
We're going to go straight into today's show with a lively set of tunes from a band called
Well, good morning. Welcome to Destination Newry.
Tell me the provenance of that. Where did it come from?
Right there, and welcome back to the studio.
Good afternoon and welcome along to Destination Wellbeing. My guest is
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Newry's Loose Women with me.
Well, it's hello and welcome once again to the programme. My name is Tommy Sands.
In the folds of the house of our God. Praise the Lord.
Philip Rogan, rather, wearing number 19.
Evening everybody, and you're very welcome to Newry Showgrounds tonight again.
So that's option 1, and to choose this, click on option 1 below, or you can go to vario.ie and buy option 1. Option 2 provides you, as long as you have a good internet connection in your home, everything you get for option 1, including all the programmes from destinationnewry.com, plus you will be able to add over 1,000 private or public channels at the touch of a button, most of which are free. So that's option 2. To buy, click below and buy option 2, or go to vario.ie and buy option 2. To choose your option, either option 1 or 2, just click on the buttons below, or you can go to vario.ie and click on option 1 or 2. When we receive your payment, we will deliver your box to your home, and all you need to do is plug it in and connect it to your TV and your internet. Any problems? We're here on standby to help.